All right, everybody, you're watching Bull Boom Bear Bust, back with another dose of economic reality. I think we've got a banger of a report for you today. We're going to hear from a lot of different people giving their angle, giving their view on the cost of living right now and the entire economy. Where are we headed? Where's this thing going? Right? Are things just going to continue to get more and more expensive? We see no deflation. We continue to see inflation in positive territory, meaning the cost of living is rising. Wages still not keeping up with the cost of living, so naturally debt is getting bigger and bigger. Most people getting buried further under debt. We know that half of the economy, the economic activity, is because of the top 10% spending money. They own actually 90% of the stock market. So it continues, folks. If you're not in the top 10%, you might be the ones getting pulled under the wheel right now, or falling off the hamster wheel of perpetual payments it seems like everybody's having to do here in this economy. But let's hear from a few people, and I've got some very eyebrow-raising news, I think, on the other side. But first, take a listen to this.
It is straight up too expensive to live in the United States of America, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Hi, I'm Zach. I've kept a budget down to the penny for the past 5 years. And this is what I've spent this month on some of the things that you need exist. Let's start with energy. I want you to let me know how much you pay a month for your electric bill. All right, ready? Drum roll, please. This month I spent $242. It's summertime in Florida. It's hot. It's expensive. The AC's running. I keep my house at 78 degrees during the day. I turn off all the lights when I'm not using them. I have LED lights, all of the stuff you're supposed to do. I'm closing my blinds during the day. Everything possibly you could do right. And I just had my highest bill of all time. Checking out my electric bill from September 2020, I paid $139.47. Huh. Okay, so that's almost doubled. All right, how about utilities?
Wow, almost doubled, folks, in 5 years. That's insane. I pay between usually $170 and $230, $240 on some of the hotter months in the summer. I'm in California, so Florida, pretty hot as well. A lot of air conditioning going on. But I've been seeing videos from other people with $300, $400, $500, $600 a month bills. I don't know what you're keeping your thermostat at. I keep mine between usually like 79, 80, 81, somewhere around there.
All right, how about utilities? I want you to let me know how much you pay for utilities a month, your water bill, your garbage. All right, drum roll, please. 3, 2, 1. I paid $219.77. Just as a frame of reference, in September of 2020, my water bill was $128.09. So that's doubled in 5 years. That's cool. Internet. Everybody loves internet. I needed to post on. This past month, I spent $84.99. What did you spend this month on internet? I can tell you what I paid in September 2020, 5 years ago.
Folks, is this normal, doubling in 5 years? They're trying to tell us inflation's between 2 and 3% annually. But yet we see video after video where things are doubling, triple in just like 3, 4, 5 years. Crazy.
I paid $54.68. That's cool. It's gone up 60%-ish in 5 years. That's fine. So all in all, between my utilities, my energy, and my internet, I am paying $527 and change a month. And I'm sure my story isn't unique. I'm sure you're watching this saying, yes, the same thing with me. I'm paying way too much every month. This isn't sustainable. I know that prices have gone up all around the world, 100%. I just feel like where I live specifically, we've gone into crazy town. No one can pay this. No one can afford this. I'd love to hear what you're paying a month for all these things and where you live in the world, because I need to know if I'm crazy or if I'm not alone in feeling this way.
I mean, I appreciate his video. What he said about no one can afford it, it's not true. I mean, people are still affording it. They're taking on lots of debt to do it. For example, for everybody to pay their light bill, a lot of them have to put more things on credit cards like groceries. And now we see more people not paying the bill in full each month. So where does this end, folks? I mean, how much longer until we see some sort of collapse? Right? It's insane. It's almost like people are being driven to the point where you don't want to start a family. You don't want to have other mouths to feed. You want to stay single. And when you look at the data, I mean, the facts are that people are staying single longer. People aren't getting as married when they're young like they used to. More people are waiting, and more people are just staying single forever than we've ever seen before.
20 years old. Why is a one-bedroom apartment $600, $1,600? Like, oh my God, for 500 square foot. Rent prices is outrageous. And then these jobs, they're bare minimum jobs. Like, I'm supposed to be in customer service. Before I was a server, I was working in like fast food restaurants, and nothing against them, love it, but we need them jobs. But why are you yelling at me over a burger? So it's one of those type of things. It's like the work life, trying to balance out school, trying to balance out finding housing. It's just overhyped. Like, I really waited my whole life to grow up and do this.
20 years old. She's like, I went to school for this. I waited my whole life to grow up and do this, to pay these kind of bills, to get yelled at over making a burger the wrong way, didn't put enough pickles on it, whatever it was. Maybe no ketchup, too much ketchup. I mean, people getting yelled at in these fast food jobs and server jobs in general. I mean, I try to tip good when I go out. I don't really go out to eat much like I used to. One, because of the cost, and two, I find it healthier to eat at home. But I could see what she's saying, though. I mean, these bills, and there's a chart here. I'm not sure how well you can see this. 94 versus 2004. So we're going back, 30 years? Average student loan debt from $22,000 to $38,000. Median age of first marriage, it was 26.7. Now it's over 30 years old. Like I said, people are waiting longer to get married. Average new car, $37,000, now $44,000. That was 2024. Insane, folks. And people are finally talking about it more. I think this person that put out this video, the young lady there, a couple of years ago, she probably would not even have been thinking about these things, right? Most 17, 18-year-old people, they want to think about having fun, whatever they do, party. I mean, I was 18. I didn't think about the economy, the cost of living. Back then, it wasn't an issue, right? Things were easy. Minimum wage, I was still doing okay. Had a couple of roommates, but still doing okay. And story real quick, I'll try to be brief. Today I went to a outlet mall in Alpine, California, which is just a little bit east of where I'm at here in San Diego County. And it was shut down. I mean, not the whole mall, but it was a lot of stores out of business. Even from when I was there like 8 months ago, a lot of stores were closed, shut down. I would say more were closed than open. And this is a big shopping center. It's got a big casino there, the Viejas Casino. And the stores are the Viejas outlets, folks. It was deserted, and today is Saturday as I went there, and as I'm recording this. But folks, I've never seen it that bad. And they just installed all these solar parking structures where they've got, the solar, the solar top, the solar cover where people can park under, so it's shaded. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to recoup these costs of the solar, because it looks like that shopping center is on the verge of going insolvent. I mean, I don't know what their budget is, but there's a lot of vacancies there, folks. It's not looking so good there.
Overspending. It's the cost of living. Here is a breakdown of the average Gen Z and millennials' cost of living in today's world. So number one is rent.
He said people aren't overspending. It's the cost of living. I think it's a combination of both. It's the cost of living, and then you have to spend a lot just to keep up with everything. But then we see people buying a lot of things they don't have to buy, so that's definitely a part of it, though. But let's take a listen to what he says.
Gen Z millennials have to have a roommate. So splitting a 2-bedroom apartment with utilities is around $1,500. If you have a car, a $12,000 to $15,000 used car is still going to run you $400 a month. Car insurance and gas is another $300. Student loan payment, $500. You're going to have groceries for $500. You're going to have personal care, doctor's appointments, hair, gym, about $150, and then cell phone and miscellaneous $150. That's $3,500 a month, which is baseline. Do you know how much $3,500 a month is? $70,000 a year, or $34 an hour. Because after you take out taxes, put $300 for health insurance, and do a healthy...
Some of his data there is kind of fading out because I think the green screen or whatever.
$500 401k contribution. That leaves you with $3,500. This is no fun, no savings, no maintenance, no clothes, no kids, no traveling, no vacations, no bachelor parties, no weddings, no funerals, no clothes, no school supplies, nothing. And this is paycheck to paycheck. And on top of it, they're holding $40,000 of student loan debt, a $15,000 car, and if they ever wanted to buy a house with closing costs and the down payments, another $50,000. So they need $105,000. So even if they...
All right, folks, it goes on, but we can all see the direction this is headed. The real scary part is they're not really doing anything, the powers that be right now, not doing anything to address the problem, right? We've got the tariffs. We've got still... the shortages. I mean, things are not being imported like they were. And I think that's the reason why a lot of these stores might be going under. If you look at the shopping mall I was just at today, the outlet malls. And also the stores that were open, the outlets didn't seem like outlet prices. I mean, we went into this Gap, the Gap store, and a t-shirt was like $18. And then they had it on discount, so it was like $12 if you got the discount or whatever, 40% off, something like that. And I'm wondering if they're going to even stay open that long, folks. So it's insane, and people are scraping by right now, paycheck to paycheck. Let's get into some news, then we're going to hear from some other people. But here's some recent news I want you to be on top of. And here's how they put it over at CNBC. The resilient stock market may be keeping the economy out of recession. So think about this. As bad as it is right now, with people buried under so much debt, the cost of living so high, how much worse would it be without the stock market? Remember, a lot of people are selling their stocks and cashing out just to try to pay off debt. How much less economic activity would there be if it weren't for the bubble stock market that we're in right now? And when I say bubble, I don't mean it's going to burst tomorrow, but it is, when you look at PE ratios, it is the most overvalued that it's ever been before the dot-com bust, before the financial crisis. The average PE ratios, folks, outrageous in the stock market. Also, the average savings continues to drop. America's emergency funds are shrinking, and this is for most Americans. Here's how much they've saved. Well, people haven't saved very much. In fact, a lot of people stopped contributing to their 401k and retirement accounts because of the cost of living. That's something else that's not factored in there. More people than ever are borrowing funds from their 401k, emergency borrowing from their 401k or emergency withdrawals are still, we're on pace to break the record from last year, so it's probably going to be an all-time high again this year. We'll see in about 3 months at the end of the year. 1 in 3 Americans say they don't have any emergency fund, and the median amount that Americans say they have saved is about $500. That's $100 less than the median amount of $600 reported in the same survey conducted 1 year ago, folks. So even from last year to this year, it just got worse. It just seems like everything's continuing to get worse, but yet we never see the ultimate implosion or collapse of the economy. It's like people are still finding ways to scrape by. I mean, what other ways are they doing it? I know a lot of people are doing balance transfers. Many people have stopped going out. We see drops in tourism in many of the vacation destinations in the U.S., and we see people not contributing to 401k, borrowing against their retirement, taking money out of their retirement, emergency withdrawals, and things like that. I mean, what else am I missing here? What else are people doing to scrape by right now? Because it seems like everything continues to get worse, but we never see the collapse or the breaking point. We know more people are financing things. Debt continues to climb. But besides those things, let me know if there's anything else you can think of that's playing a role in this.
People say, I don't know how y'all standing out there in the heat. We are broke, all right? My personal need for money is way more important than my health right now. I die 3 times a day. Send Gatorade, we are not all right.
That was been going around, folks. People working jobs they don't want, miserable jobs out in the heat, because just the cost of living just forcing everybody into these jobs that they don't want to do. Most people, I would say most, and it may be most, but I know a lot of people working jobs, they just do not like their jobs. The only reason they're there is because they feel backed into a corner because of the high cost of living right now. Also, let's talk about something that we don't really talk about very much here, and that's the cost of things that you really don't think about when you think of high costs and inflation.
Probably because I'm like uncle.
The cost of a parking ticket, folks. The last time I got a parking ticket, and we're going to watch this video real quick, but the last time I got a parking ticket was probably 10 years ago in LA. I think it was like maybe $60-something. That's one of the reasons, out of many reasons, I didn't really like LA that much. It's the parking situation's ridiculous. But it looks like these people may be in New York just by the way the streets look and the buildings. Take a listen to this, though.
Ticket, probably because I'm like uncle or chopped. But we're going to guess, and Alani guessed, what, 100? I'm going to guess like 65.
They're trying to guess how much their parking ticket is. They just got it off their window, apparently, and they started filming.
How much is it?
Holy shit, it's $115. Damn it.
I think she said $116 parking ticket.
Well, that's the price you get when you're chopped and unked and try to park at the Upper East Side.
No, but actually, like, I don't understand, like...
So we're a little confused because there's no sign that says you couldn't park here, and, like, I
There's no parking signs? That doesn't seem fair. I would appeal that.
have a degree, so
Well, that sign probably says, oh. But that's on that side. But that's the other side, though, you know what I mean?
All right, and sometimes, and let me know if you think this too, sometimes I do think they purposely make it tricky to figure out where you can't and cannot park. There's a no parking sign across the street, so they were thinking that it was just that side of the street. That's what it sounded like. But it looks like it's both sides of the street because they got a parking ticket, obviously, and there was no red curve or red painted sidewalk or anything like that. All right, now let's hear from another one of these people that really doesn't blame the economy that much, and they don't blame just the general cost of living being high. They blame people's spending habits as the reason why so many people are strapped, broke, living paycheck to paycheck, struggling, barely getting by. But remember, it's the spending that makes the cost of living higher. If people stop spending, the retailers and the outlets will be forced to drop their prices or shut down, by the way. Let's take a listen to what she has to say.
Nasty message, and you're not going to like to hear it, because a lot of people, why they're not rich is really just because they got their priorities all wrong. Instead of investing for their future, they're taking that money today and they're buying Nike shoes, they're buying the newest iPhones, they're buying these expensive trips that they can't afford relative to their income, they're buying hair products, salon services, nail services, cars that they can't afford, rent that they shouldn't be renting, they should be getting roommates. They want to live that lifestyle, but they don't have the capability to do it, pretty much. Their priorities from a financial perspective are all wrong. This is the person that walks up into the club on weekends and spends money buying drinks, wears Louboutin shoes.
Folks, we talk about that here all the time. We talk about people buying designer brands, going to the clubs, buying expensive drinks. And nothing wrong with that if you have money, but people that don't even like their jobs, that are barely scraping by, are still doing these things, right? But I get it. People just want to have fun. They don't want to work and still end up doing nothing. So let's finish and continue with what she's saying here.
Wears fancy Gucci belts, drives up in a leased vehicle, and tries to flex when they're earning more or less minimum wage. This is that person. This is why they're never going to
Trying to flex, earn a minimum wage? Okay.
become rich. This is why they are trapped in the poverty cycle, and it's just going to continue because they are living a lifestyle that they really should not be living. And it's purely just down to their desire to be validated by external forces. They want other people to deem them attractive, to find them attractive, and this is very common, whether it's a man or a woman. They are following the traditional methods. So a guy's got to have the right shoes, the right wallet brand, the right car brand. The woman's got to have the right purse brand, the good looking hair, the nails done. All of these things are expensive to do, which is why you see a lot of millionaires that walk around pretty inconspicuous.
True. That's true. Some of them don't really flaunt their wealth.
Would not know that they're a millionaire because they're not wearing designer labels to flex in front of your face. They're not trying to put all their money on a freaking catwalk for you to see. They're actually living quietly, richly. A lot of millionaires don't look like millionaires on the front. You'd be shocked, but they're millionaires.
Maybe too because they don't want to get robbed. They're making themselves look like they don't have much money. Could be.
Yeah, I know, because I'm a secret millionaire. So everywhere I go, nobody thinks I'm a millionaire because I'm quiet. I don't wear all these brands. Like, the best thing you'll see is our Tesla. Other than that, everything else is very low key. Other than people who tune into my social media, they don't even know anything about my financial background because I'm low key. My financial priorities were always in the right place. I got roommates, hardcore, 10 years of living with roommates. I drove a cheap car for 10 years, cheap vehicles. I lived cheaply for pretty much 10 years. I was doing all these things in a span of 10 years to set myself up for millionairedom. My financial priorities were in the right place. I was not trying hard to flex to impress random people off the street. And that's why I have money that I was able to invest into real estate, into crypto, into stocks, into equities, into my businesses. And now those things are paying for my spending. Materialism is freaking killing your finances. It's time to wake the hell on up and start waking up to the fact that you are being leveraged by all these major brands to make you broke.
Wow, strong words there, folks. I mean, she started off sounding like it was mostly just the spending habits of people, but then she went on to say that she's also investing and doing lots of other things, having roommates for 10 years to, to get ahead and for her to end up being a millionaire, if that's true. But I think good advice, folks. And I'd like to hear from you down on this. What are people doing to scrape by? What are the biggest problems? Is it spending, or is it the cost of living being too high? Or are you like me, saying that the spending is one of the big causes of the cost of living, because prices would come down if people just refuse to pay these prices that people are still paying for, and mostly on credit cards and debt-based spending, folks. Let me know what you think about this down in the report or down in the comments, and hope to see you in the next video. Everybody, thanks for watching. Much love now. Bye.